It's a trade-off between what you can see and what I can see. How is this better? So I'm fairly certain that I wasn't recording any of that, but that doesn't matter. All you really missed was some slightly higher quality handle grips. Fancy schmancy looking exhaust. And now we're getting to the main part, the engine unboxing, because that's all we came here to see. You open one box, you've seen all the accessories before. God knows I've done enough of those. There's our chain in there, which I'll be leaving in this little box. All right, let's get this one out. And see how we go. Okay, before we get right into it, 44 tooth sprocket, fuel filter, CDI, which I want to have a closer look at that. Rag joint. And our motor. One thing I do notice is that it's come with a spark plug already in the top. I don't like that. I feel like there's a chance that it could have been damaged in transit. Now, this is a fair bit different. This is my first silver. First things to notice is that we've done away with the useless accessory wire. There's our massive exhaust port. Now, the clutch feels operational. Now, I'm just bending that in there. That feels fairly good. This is a BT100. Can we see there? Probably not. But BT printed on the inside of the case there. Four-point mounting plates. Now, I don't know how this is going to sit on the Mark V, but there's only one way we're going to find out. One-piece jug, which it's disappointing that they've just sprayed over the gasket. Now there are actually two base gaskets in here. So that is a disappointingly tiny intake. Let me go get my tools and we'll start cracking into it. All right. So the first thing we're going to do here is a frickin' snail in my spark plug socket. Alright, we got rid of the snail. Now, it's good to know that wasn't over tightened. E6TC. But I don't know enough about the BT100 to know whether or not the NGK B6HS, which is tried and true in most of these engines, is right, or this one is wrong, or vice versa. But seeing as this is the one that came in the kit, for better or worse, we'll put that one in and we'll start with that plug. So I'll pop that back into the bubble wrap. Put my NGK back in its little box. So on the top here, we've got 10mm bolts, which I'm not a huge fan of. That means it's only 6mm thread in here. Which, do you know what? Very gently now. The problem is that this case has just been sprayed as a whole unit, which is going to mean that almost every thread is painted shut. Okay. All right. That's going to be a pain in the neck to replace if it ever breaks. The advantage is, because it does all come out in one piece, you're not going to get filings from the bolt as the jug pulls past them, as you often do with the 66 motors, because they're never square and it can be a pain to get the jug down over the piston and then square over the bolts as well. Now this part's going to make me nervous because I do not want to tear these gaskets. I do not have spares, but they have been painted on. So I'm going to apologise now for the shitty camera angle, but I care more about getting it off in one piece. All right, here goes nothing. All right, we'll have a look at that jug later. I'm paying particularly close attention to these wrist pins. Because apparently they have a tendency to blow up. Now, I'm not going to pull it just now. There is a bit of crap around the piston there, which is not good. 1, 2, and where is our third? 3. Now that piston has been nice and greased, which is good to see. All I'm checking for is signs of like case filings. So we have a bit of an inception moment with my little phone there. But that looks fairly secure to me. And we're gonna have a closer look at this jug. Now I'm eyeballing down in there, which honestly you're not going to be able to see particularly well because of the light. Now we have 2 base gaskets still attached to the bottom here. Open transfer ports. Now, all in all, the casting does feel pretty good. I've always done that. I've stuck my finger down into the ports, feeling for any jagged edges. I'm paying particularly close attention to the top of the head there, because this is the first one-piece jug I've ever had. And I don't like the fact that I can't get right into the top there. Now, there is a bit of crap behind here. So I'm going to just go ahead and pop this manifold off. Again, the little gasket in there has been painted on. Very carefully I can separate it. Now, this gasket is actually covering the vast majority of this port. We really do need to sort that out. It is covering about half the port, which means I'm going to have to go out and get my Dremel You may wonder what I'm doing here, but there is method in my madness. In fact, what I'm doing is burning all the fluff that I've created. Now, of course, I've got all that fibre in there. I do believe that one of the most basic things that you can do with any new motor, or any new gasket for that matter, is just to make sure that you are matching up the gaskets to the ports. Because the ports aren't doing their work if they've got a bit of material blocking them half off. So look, it does look rough as guts, but it's open. All right, we're opening the case for the clutch right now. See what we shall see inside. Alrighty. There is no grease in there. None of the pads are sticking. Alrighty, I'm just going to go ahead and throw a bit of extra grease in there. I like the idea of using the cotton tips, but the reality is just dip your finger in the grease. It's not going to kill you. All right. Now there's really only one more thing to do. All right. So we're going to pop a little extra grease in there. Just wipe the excess around the cog. Now, I would prefer that ball came out, but it's not gonna play ball. Now it's time to have a look for the hardware. Alright, so I'm going through a little hardware bag and I found these cute little studs. That's what I was missing earlier, is the copper ring gasket for the exhaust. So it does pay to open up your bags. Now when it actually comes to mounting on the frame, we would want to be using some Loctite on the ends there. But as it stands, I'm not sure if these will be long enough to get past the big frame of the Mark V. It's a trade-off between what you can see and what I can see. Alrighty, so we're just going to try and get this mounted. I'm just curious to see how it actually all goes together, to be honest. How is this better? Now, I've just noticed, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not, but there is a significant crimp